Welcome back to Tarot and Beyond. Today we are doing a really fun reading, and these are messages that your inner child needs to hear right now. So use the images that you see here in front of you to select which reading is going to be for your inner child. And if you feel called to more than one, then there may be several messages that your inner child is needing to hear right now, or that they would benefit from tuning into. So you can use the timestamps linked in the description box or pinned in the comments below to jump ahead to your chosen reading or readings, and we will see you there. All right, hi group number one, welcome to your inner child reading. So I wanted to start off the reading by mentioning that the reason I was inspired to create this reading is because of my inner child. So I want to thank little Siobhan for being here, and for inspiring this reading topic, because I really had to do a lot of work to get back in touch with my inner child and to heal her. And I have been on this journey now for several years, and it has been transformational and so healing. So I wanted to share that with you guys and to reconnect you, or to deepen the connection with your inner child as well. So let's go ahead and jump into your reading and see what your inner child needs to hear. So for group number one, what does their inner child need to hear? You have the Eight of Wands. For group number one, you have the Seven of Pentacles. I feel like this is about patience, especially with the Eight of Wands here. It's like your inner child might be a little bit impatient and wanting things now. And that's such an inner child quality, right? They're so they can be a little demanding and they don't understand certain things, right? And so we have to kind of, as the adult now, talk to them and communicate that to them. Like, it's okay, we're going to get this, it's coming, that kind of thing. That way they feel a little bit more sense of security and peace. You also have the Hierophant and the Emperor as well. So this is very much about authority. You have the Tower card. Some changes may have occurred that have required you to start over with the Ace of Pentacles here. And your inner child might be feeling a little bit upset about that. But you have the Nine of Pentacles, which is a good indication that there will be success here. There will be self-sufficiency. The inner child will feel more provided for. That's good. And you have the Two of Swords. Okay. So we will get more oracle decks or oracle cards, and I have some other fun things that we can pull as well. But let me first just tune into this and see what is coming up. All right, I just needed to reposition your camera angle a little bit so that the reading was more centered. So I feel like your inner child, group number one, is feeling a little bit unstable, and they're needing a bit of comforting. They're really needing a bit of direction to let them know that things are moving forward, that they can trust you to hold them in your hand, because I'm seeing the Ace of Pentacles here with the hand out, and the carrot coin, which is so cute. I love this deck. It's the Chubby Bunny Volume 2. So I just feel like your inner child needs just a little bit of like, hey, it's going to be okay. We are going to be successful. Things are coming together. Don't worry. Everything's going to be safe and you're going to be provided for. All of your needs are being heard, and I'm not ignoring you. I'm right here. I see you. I feel you, and you are safe. So let's get some oracle cards as well. I do want to pull from the Nature's Wisdom. Actually, no, they're directing me to the Unicorn Oracle first. So let's see what your inner child needs to hear for group number one. You have forgive. It's time to let go of anger or blame. So this could be that, I was going to say that this could be that your inner child needs to forgive you because they felt neglected, but this could even be that you need to forgive your inner child, because what I'm getting here is almost like this feeling of if you suffered in childhood, if you had a really hard time, especially with authority figures like your parents or teachers or caregivers of any kind, I just get the sense that you may, as an adult, have felt as though your inner child was kind of bringing that on in a way. Now, if that doesn't resonate, that's fine. I need to share the message. It's for someone out there. If it's not for all of you, that's totally fine. It just feels like there's a part of someone that on some unconscious level is still holding a little bit of anger at the inner child for the aggression or for the discipline or for the negativity that adults projected onto you. Now, what I'm seeing here and what your inner child is bringing forward, and I almost want to cry, because your inner child didn't do anything wrong here. Your inner child was behaving in a way that was right for them. They were dealing with their emotions in the best way that they knew how. They were asking for help. They were crying out, or they were just being themselves. And these adults didn't understand how to support them in the way that they needed, in the way that you needed. And so it wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault. Okay. Yeah. Oh, my heart. So forgiving yourself, really. Forgive your inner child because they didn't do anything wrong. They were innocent. Look at this card. There's just so much innocence. So the unicorn is innocence. The girl in the card here is also very, very innocent, and she didn't do anything wrong. She doesn't know any better. She's literally a child. She hasn't gotten the life experience or even the brain development at that point to be able to know these things or to regulate the emotions or to think in a larger perspective. She doesn't understand. And so what can happen is that if we were treated poorly in childhood, because there is a lack of understanding of the outside world and other people's internal workings and how projection works, and because as children we tend to see adults as like gods, as all-knowing, as always right, what happens is we internalize a lot of what is projected onto us or how we're treated early on in life. And especially since from about age 1 to age 7, we are primarily operating within theta wave brain waves. So this means that we are more impressionable and we are more susceptible to integrating and imprinting whatever is being modeled around us or however we're being treated. So this is about forgiving yourself and realizing that it wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. You had needs and you had different ways of showing those. You had different ways of trying to communicate that without a real depth of understanding of what was going on within you. You were asking for help. Okay. No, it's not those. Sorry, we just got to keep shuffling. You have a definitely yes. The answer to your question is a strong yes. So I feel like in regard to what we were just talking about, that's a big yes. I also feel like the yes is in regard to your success and your happiness and your authority in your life now. So you get to be the one who says to your inner child, you are worthy and you didn't do anything wrong. And I am here to listen to your emotions. And I do understand you. And I am going to offer up this care that you needed all along because I am the adult now and I know that you're still in there. The Tower card is giving me this feeling as though there may have been instability in the home growing up, and it could have been emotional instability in your caregivers. It could have been chaos in the family unit. It could have even been that you moved very frequently. As the Tower can be like a house, and things crumbling or falling away is quite literally moving house to house or something like that, or maybe having just a lot of stress in the household. Maybe it was very chaotic. Maybe you had a lot of brothers and sisters, or maybe your parents had a lot of stress, and that was something that was felt throughout the home. So I just get this sense that to repair now, it's really going to be about communicating, because the Eight of Wands just screamed at me about communication. So it's communicating with your inner child, speaking directly to them, and sometimes having a picture of them can help. I started out doing that and having the picture of my little self with me so that I would be reminded to connect to her and tell her, like, little Siobhan, you are good. You are a beautiful being. You are innocent and kind, and I love you. And I also now just tune in intuitively, and I'll feel into what she's feeling, and she'll talk to me. She'll say, I'm bored, or I want to go play, or like when I'm out in nature or something like that, she just wants to skip. She wants to dance. She wants to sing. She wants to play with the butterflies. She wants to stop and stare at a leaf. And as the adult now, I let her do that because I know that she needs it. And I know that that's part of her divine expression. So being able to say yes to her is really important. And so I think your inner child is asking for this as well, so that you can allow yourself to enjoy the nature and the beauty of life, because the Nine of Pentacles here can be about stopping and smelling the roses. And as adults, we tend to rush. We're busy. There's so much to do. I'm the emperor. I have to run an empire. I've got all of these things on my to-do list. But the inner child, they don't understand that, and they just want to play. They just want to be free. They're so innocent and pure, and we do need to remember that and to allow them the space to be able to do that. As the adult, it's within our charge. It's within our control to be able to support our inner child in that way. So it is important to take a break, to slow down, and to spend some time connecting with what brings you joy, or what brought you joy as a child. So think back to your childhood. What did you like doing? What sparked joy for you? And for me, it was very much going out in nature and playing. It was imagining and creating. So I liked to draw, I liked to sing, I liked to write. I also really liked, obviously, I liked chunky plastic jewelry. I just always loved that. I had an eye for like very bright, colorful fashion. And that's something that I'm coming back into now, and allowing myself to embrace that because it's part of me. And so connect to your inner child and find out what is still part of you that has been repressed or suppressed over all these years. Because I feel like the Hierophant here is just so practical that you haven't been seeing something. The Two of Swords is like you haven't been seeing something, or you've been trying to weigh things up in a very unemotional, detached way. But your inner child is not unemotional or detached. They are very emotional. They are very sometimes volatile, and they need you to create that stability. They need you to cater to them and their what brings them joy. So let's take a look at Nature's Whispers now. Okay, this one, you have Seek Beauty, and I also feel that one. So seek beauty. Yeah, that's kind of what I was just talking about, like stopping and smelling the roses. Pay attention to what sparks joy for you. If it's something that's physical, like for me, I really enjoy like bright colors, and I love these little teddy bears. I don't know, they just bring me so much joy because they're beautiful to me. I love teddy bears in general, but anything like unicorns or colorful or rainbow, that's what my inner child always loved, and that's what I still love to this day because she's part of me. So seeking this beauty for your inner child is going to be very, very healing. Stopping to look at things that are beautiful, taking your time to enjoy your own beauty as well. So this could be about allowing your inner child to dress you. You know how children like to they're just so carefree. They don't think in terms of what is the world going to think of me. And what's coming to mind is the scene from Big Daddy where the little boy, he's like, I want to wear this. And he puts on like these big yellow rain boots and a cape. And I think he has something on his head. I can't remember what it is, but he's like just dressed so bizarre. And that's kind of what I get from this. It's like, allow your inner child to dress you for the day. Like do an experiment. Why not? Right? What have you got to lose? And maybe it'll help you to feel a bit more confident in connecting with your inner child and in being free to be able to express yourself and in what brings you this sense of joy. I feel like we lose track of that, or we disconnect from that a lot. And if you have children, you're probably more aware of this. But for those of you who don't, it can be helpful to practice this by connecting to your inner child. And this can also prepare you for being a parent, because if you learn to parent your inner child, you can better respond to actual children that are either yours or that you're connected to. Because again, they just keep showing me the movie Big Daddy. And if you haven't seen that, it's an Adam Sandler movie. I love Adam Sandler, one of my favorites. So any of the Happy Gilmore movies or like Gilmore Productions is amazing. So anyway, that could be a movie to watch to reconnect with your inner child and to see their perspective. You also have adventure. Yeah, your inner child just wants to explore. They want to be free. They don't feel good being constricted and put into boxes and made to follow rules. Like even in our earliest experiences in this world, it's like we have to go to preschool and then to daycare and then to school, and that it's like there's always these schedules and routines, and in some degree that's good. Children do need some structure, otherwise they start to feel very chaotic and emotionally just unstable. And so it can be helpful to have that sense of routine, but it needs to be tempered or balanced with adventure and expansion and exploration, because children are just by nature curious, and they are like sponges for information. They just want to absorb everything. So allow your inner child to guide you on an adventure. Maybe they want to go on a walk. Maybe they want to go on a road trip. Maybe they want to go somewhere that you used to enjoy going as a child, like to the local pool, to go swimming or something like that. That's what's coming to mind for me. My inner child has actually been prompting me for that, and I didn't realize that was her. I'm realizing that right now. She wants to go to the pool. She wants to go down the slide. Okay, little Siobhan. Okay, that makes me feel uncomfortable a little bit, because I'm going to have to go by myself to a pool and as an adult wanting to play. But again, this is what we need to do. We have to have courage to be both the parent and the child in this relationship. And so it does kind of challenge us to go outside of our comfort zone and do these things that might be socially kind of side-eyed a little bit, but it's really important for the healing. So you have fresh approach as well. I feel like this is very much about doing things differently. Yeah, it is doing things differently so that you can reconnect to your inner child again. So yeah, that fresh approach. I mean, just in regard to the example that presented itself right there, it's like I haven't been to a local pool in probably 20 years, maybe less, but a long time, right? And I used to love going to the wave pool and like those little floaty colored things that you can lie on, and going down the slide and just swimming. I don't know. I loved it as a kid. I was such a water baby. And so, I am a Pisces. So tune into your inner child right now and ask them, what is it that you want to do? Where do you want to go? Let them lead you. I'm feeling called to challenge you, group number 1, to have an inner child day. So dedicate one entire day to doing exactly what your inner child wants you to do. So you got to dress the way that they want you to dress. You've got to listen to where they want to go, even if it makes you feel uncomfortable or, if it just puts you outside of your comfort zone. So yes, this is why it's a challenge, right? I'm challenging you to have an inner child day, and like, let me know what that is. What does that look like for you? Because it might not look like what it is for me. We have very different inner children, but I'm curious to know what your inner child loves, because children just want to be friends, That could be another thing. That's another message that I'm getting. Like, this fresh approach might be saying yes to social connections or invitations, or even approaching other people and connecting to them, because children, they'll just go up to anyone on the playground and be like, hey, do you want to be my friend? We don't do that as adults. Like, we're like, hello, what do you like to do? What do you do for a living? It's just, it's So I hate it. Like, why can't we all just go back to the way things were before? Like, I want to go up to a random stranger on the street and be like, hey, I really like your dress. Want to be friends? And then we become best friends and we just start hanging out and playing together. Why can't that just be a thing? Can we make that a thing, guys? Can we here in the spiritual community just make that a thing? Because I just want to, just put ego aside and just be our pure selves again, because they're in there. They never went anywhere. They're in there. They just, they got buried under a bunch of other stuff. All right, let's see from, actually, I'm being called to do some of these. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use a tray so that we have something and it doesn't disturb the reading. So I'm just going to pop this here temporarily and take a look at what of these like fun stickers are wanting to come up. Oops. Okay. So I used to love stickers as a kid. That's why I started collecting these, and it's just the beginning of my collection. There's going to be so much more, but you have the diamond. So the diamond here, it really feels to me like there's many different parts to yourself. There's fractals, because that's what I'm being made to think of here with the diamond. And you actually have another one too. So there's two diamonds, and one is your inner child and one is you. And so it's up to you to be very clear on what your inner child needs, because there's fractals to yourself. There are different parts of you. There's the inner child, there's the baby self, there's the adolescent, there's the teen, there's the 20s, 30s, like however many years you've lived, you are not just the age that you are now, you are every other age layered underneath that as well. So every version of you that's ever existed still exists within you, but it is constantly evolving. You are constantly evolving. So these diamonds are making me think of that clarity and that ability to tune back into the multiple hues and rays of your soul that still exist within you. Like the white light that goes that goes through the diamond is refracted and then becomes the full spectrum of light, the rainbow. You have super cool. So I feel like super cool here is talking about you getting back to what you thought was cool as a kid. And it might be different than what you think is cool now. But just reconnecting to that, even temporarily, is going to be so, so, so healing. You also have, oh my God. So from this one, I'm getting that your inner child might feel like frustrated with you. And maybe they do need to forgive you as well, because it's almost like, you know what, I'm getting two sides to this. So the inner child is going, oh my God, to you. You're, like, I don't want to do this. This is so boring. Oh my God. Like, why can't we just have it now? That kind of thing. Or why can't we do what I want to do? And then there's the adult version of you looking at the inner child and going, oh my God, that's so childish. And oh my God, we don't have time for that. And it's like both of you are kind of at odds with each other because you want different things, or you're behaving or operating in completely opposing ways. So this is, again, like trying to bring it together, trying to harmonize it and to unite those different fractals or aspects and needs within them. And then you have the, I love this, the cat planet, the cat, a galaxy cat here. And this makes me think of 9 lives. Like, you have so many lives to live, and you have lived so many lives already just in this one lifetime, being all of these different versions of you. And I feel like this is, I'm getting the message about orbit. Okay, so what does that mean? Orbiting around. It could be that your adult self and your inner child are kind of like orbiting around one another, and they really just need to be more involved in this dance or to understand each other a bit better. Let's get some more information. So we're going to use the Fireside Story dice to get some more information here. So, oh, sorry, that might be loud. So for group number 1, what does their inner child need? Okay. You have the dog. That was the first one that I saw. And this is making me think of loyalty and playfulness and innocence. And it's like, ooh, a puppy. And you just want to like stop and pet the dog or something like that. Your inner child just wants to have some fun is what I'm feeling. Like they just want to play, because they're showing me in my mind's eye the dog who just brings you the ball over and over and over and over again, never gets tired of it. And you're just like, oh my God, okay, like that was enough after like 10 throws. But they're like, no, more, 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 more. And that's the same with the inner child, because they really need to experience that. And we even have the ball here. So it's like, go play fetch, be in orbit with your inner child and dance together, have this fun so that you can really enjoy each other's company. The hat is also making me think of baseball here, like take me out to the ball game. So you guys need to be playing together. It's important that you play together because that is a bonding experience. It's like if you have children, you know how important it is to play with them, you know, not just allowing them to play on their own. Like if you get involved in their play, you become part of their world. And that's really important for connection and relationship. So it's the same thing here with your inner child, is like you need to play with them and connect in that way, because that's going to be very, very healing. And then I'm looking at the food here. You got like some fruit. And this is making me think of healing as well. It's like making healthy food choices and eating the fruit. Your inner child might have loved fruit. Yeah, your inner child might have loved fruit. And I just randomly got a different message, like not in regard to the fruit. So I just need to put that out there as well. I'm seeing somebody taking their dog for a walk. I'm seeing somebody going to like a ball field and playing with their dog. This could be something for the inner child as well. Like they just want to play with the dog. Or this could be even like going to play some baseball or softball or something like that yourself as well. Like if that's what your inner child liked doing. So I just wanted to share that message as well. So back to the fruit here. It feels like you've kind of got to enjoy the sweetness of life and allow yourself to choose things that are healthy and enjoyable for you. So it's like a win-win situation. Like when I think of fruit, I think of delicious sweetness and also all of the nutrients and the health, life-giving properties within them. So it's like it is a win-win situation, especially since we have these two little blocks here that are feeling a little bit worried or upset. So that's kind of what I'm picking up from your inner child, is that they're worried or upset that their needs have not been met, or that they are feeling a bit ignored, or that like their emotions are not necessarily being heard or honored. And that is causing them to worry, that it's causing them stress, and they're feeling a bit neglected for some of you. Yeah, because the cactus card can also, the cactus block can also speak of neglect. It's like it goes for long periods of time with very little water. It survives, you know, it's very resilient, and it's meant to be, you know, it's meant to like thrive in that environment. But for ideal optimal growth, it is still important for this cactus to have some water, to have nutrients that it needs. Now they're also drawing my attention to, on the side of the cactus block, we have the house. And this is reminding me of that message we got from the Tower card, which is like there may have been spikes or prickly things or neglect or a lack of needs being met within the family home. So in childhood growing up, you may have been stressed and worried and sad and a little bit emotionally neglected. Like if your parents had a lot of stress and worry, then they simply weren't capable of showing up for you emotionally in the way that you needed. And that's not their fault. It's just that it didn't provide for you in the way that you needed. And this may have caused you to become more accepting of less, and that's not fair, right? Because you actually do need more. You did need more, and you still need more now. So this is I'm seeing the picnic table. So set up the table for yourself to be able to enjoy meeting these needs for yourself. Like sit down with yourself and have a bit of a conversation, because the table is making me think of like the dinner table where we used to get together and have family discussions, or like catch up, like what was your day like today, or what did you guys experience, or what are you thinking? So it's like this connection time and this mutual communal type of bonding. So I feel like for you, your inner child needs that. So maybe you actually need to sit at the table with your inner child and have a conversation. Maybe you need to connect with them and listen to what it is that they're needing. The pencil card is coming up here. You might be doing or focusing a lot on like work or school, or just some kind of project or learning But I'm also seeing the pencil here about writing it down. So it's like if your inner child asks you for something, maybe you need to write it down. If you're so busy that you're focusing on so many different things, it might slip your mind to incorporate some of these inner child requests for time or for play or for whatever it is that they're asking for. So write it down. I'm seeing sticky notes, like literal Post-it notes, like write it down on a Post-it note and stick it somewhere that you can't ignore. That way it says, hey, it's time to connect with the inner child, or the inner child wants to do this today, or remember to do this, because the inner child needs it. So it can just be helpful to prompt you if you're not used to doing this kind of inner child work and reparenting. So yeah, that's what they're saying, is like write it down and remind yourself. You also have the disco man. So this always makes me think of playfulness and dancing and fun. It's also like freedom of self-expression. And that's what I get from kids too. Like I remember when I was a kid, I used to come home from school and I was kind of tired from the day of learning and focusing and sitting down and being quiet and things like that. So I would come home right away and I would go into the living room and I would put on Dance Mix 95 and I would pop it into the CD changer and I would dance around in the living room. And I did that every single day because it helped me to just get the wiggles out. You know what I mean? Like it just helped me to feel connected to my body again and have some fun and rejuvenate myself after a day of, real world type of confining boxes. I just wanted to be free. So that is what I did. It might be different for you, but just incorporate some play and some fun and some dancing, or even just like some self-expression that feels fun for you. Okay. The stop hand and the chicken are kind of actually two messages that are meant to be read together here, strangely enough. So let me just tune into that because I still don't actually know what this is. Oh, it's not what I was expecting. The stop hand is like stop and do the chicken dance. It's like your inner child's like, it just wants to stop and do the chicken dance for whatever reason, for some of you. If that was something that you enjoyed doing as a kid, I remember I did, going to like anytime that we would do like social events or school events and stuff like that, and they would have music, the chicken dance would usually come on and we'd all stop and we'd do that. Same thing with like the YMCA, right? Like everybody, it's like a compulsive thing. We just have to do the motions. We have to do the Y with our arms, the M, like it's just, and it's such a communal bonding thing too, which was coming up with the table. So finding ways to connect in this way with other people and also with your inner child is going to be really helpful. And maybe it's through, oh my God, they're reminding me of also what I, on Dance Mix 95, the Macarena was one of the songs on there. So I'd be like, oh God. Oh my God. Okay, I had to reposition because I tried to do the Macarena and I knocked over the tripod. I'm actually waiting on a new tripod that I ordered to come in the mail, which is going to be way better of a setup. But anyway, you know what? I just have to laugh. I could be embarrassed, but I'm not going to be, because my inner child wouldn't be. She wouldn't care. She'd be like, oh, well, whatever. So anyway, that's like stop and do some dancing, or stop and do something that you liked to do as a child. That's basically the message there. So I'll leave it at that. And let me see if there's any other messages that want to come through for you. Yes, there are. So I'm going to just kind of move some of these around so that we have more room. So I used to love, and I still love, playing Boggle. And so I actually took my Boggle card, or my Boggle set, and I put it into these readings. If you've seen some of the ones where I used the letters, that's from my Boggle set. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to use these to see what words are coming up. Okay, so right away I'm seeing the word can't. That's the very first thing I'm seeing here. So this is like your inner child is probably used to hearing the word can't, like we can't do that. We can't do that right now, or that's not realistic, or maybe that was what you heard a lot as a kid, your parents saying we can't do that right now, or it's not time for that, or that's not possible, or something like that. And I also see the two eyes, like there's two eyes within you, i.e. the inner child and the adult version. And so there's two eyes that want different things, and one is saying we can't to the other. That's what we were seeing before as well. But it's like it's a priority. The A is just for whatever reason making me think of it's a priority, and N needs to be incorporated. So let's see what else we have here. I see the word tan, so this could be about getting out in the sun. I remember when I was a kid, I had like such a wicked tan because we did so many outdoor activities. And as an adult, I tend to just stay a lot inside, especially since I work from home. So I have been reincorporating outside time and going outside and getting in the sun and doing things that I used to do or that my parents used to do for me as a child, like going to the beach or going for walks or going to the park and things like that. Like I literally will go to the park and just swing on the swings because my inner child wants to do it because it's fun. I enjoy it. So I'm seeing it now, a can. You can do this. You can go out there and do these things. You can prioritize these needs, and they don't have to be burdensome. They don't have to be all consuming, and they don't have to be expensive or anything. It can be, the inner child, they're very easily entertained. So, you can just do very simple things for them, but because you're giving them the time, they're going to really, really thrive from that. And, the thing about these two eyes here is like, you'll be able to see things much more clearly because when you're connected to your inner child, you are more whole. And so your confidence increases, your sense of security and emotional stability increases, your intuitive perception and psychic abilities also increase, guys. These two eyes, you're able to see the world more clearly because you're united with yourself. The fractals come back together and you see the full spectrum in more clarity. Okay, let's see what else. I'm seeing Nat, as in, this could be like Natalie. Maybe one of you's name is Natalie. I'm also seeing this, if there was a G here, it would be Nat, as in like those little flying bugs that kind of are annoying. So it's like, what is annoying you or your inner child that needs to be addressed here? I'm also seeing Nan. So maybe you need to connect to your grandmother. Oh, and cat. Connecting to animals and pets, that was a theme that we saw. We've got the cat here and the dog here. So the innocence of animals is really, really healing for children because they're on a similar vibrational frequency. That innocence and that just like pure experience of life that hasn't been obscured by too much thinking and self-identification. It's very much about the experience of the world. So connecting to a grandmother can be very healing, or if she's in spirit, connecting to the energy of your grandmother in spirit, and connecting to animals as well as guides, protectors, and healers as well. Okay, let's see what else. The TA is making me think of tag, like playing tag. And so maybe that's what the orbit is about too. Like you and your inner child are playing tag with each other. And maybe this is like a fun thing that you do. And others, for you, this might be like that you've kind of been playing this tag of like, okay, now it's your turn to do work and be an adult, and now it's your turn to play. And I think that's good. It creates balance, as long as you're not just like constantly running away from each other, and that creates more separation. So I guess it's going to depend from situation to situation, but maybe if you could even just turn it into like a game instead. Because again, the inner child wants to play. If you can gamify things, especially work or obligation related things to do with your adult responsibilities, gamify it. Make it more fun. And even with the fruit, they're making me think of like cutting it into fun shapes or pretending, it's like, here comes the airplane. You know what I mean? Make it fun. Bring your imagination back into these experiences, because that's what's going to nurture your inner child and really, really create so much more joy for you as well. Let's see what else. I'm seeing the word tick. So there's two things that I'm feeling from this. This could be about like something that's gotten under your skin that's not supposed to be there. This could be sensitivity as well, because ticks make me think of Lyme disease, which is like a very, very sensitive nervous system disorder or something like that. So, or degenerative disorder. I'm not sure. But anyway, this is like getting something out from under your skin that's annoying and not meant to be there. It's like, oh my God, treating the issue so that you can get your energy back, so that you can feel free again, and so that you're not having to deal with any of these suppressed things, because ticks being under the skin makes me think of suppression. So if you've been suppressing your inner child, getting them out and into the surface and into the light again is going to be so healing. The tick is also making me think of clocks, like tick, 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 tick. So maybe this is something that needs to be, again, prioritized. It's like you need to make time for this. Or maybe you're getting this like alarm clock going off within you, the chicken crowing, like it's time to get up and be connected to your inner child. It's time to reconnect to the inner child. And that's why you've been drawn to this reading or called to this reading. Okay. I'm seeing cane as well. So this is again making me think of grandmother, like Nan that we had there. So I feel like there's a grandmother around in spirit. Yeah. There you might be still connected to your grandmother, but if your grandmother had a cane or your grandfather had a cane or something like that, it's just making me think of grandparents. Your grandparent is wanting to let you know that they're there, and they're protecting your inner child, and they're helping to prompt you, because the tick, tick, tick can also be about like that alarm clock going off from your grandparent, letting you know that your inner child needs some care. It's like they're trying to help you to do this for yourself, is what I'm seeing there. Oh, I'm also feeling drawn to Cain being about Cain and Abel, like the story of Cain and Abel, the brothers who fought and had this conflict. And so we did see conflict in the home with the tower and even in the cactus card. So this may have been conflict with your siblings, or it may have just been like familial disputes and things like that caused this instability. So again, creating stability in this current present moment is going to help your inner child to heal from that in a big, big way. Okay. Tin, this is making me think of two things. Old Tin Hat, which I don't even know what that is. Is that like a movie or something? Yeah, I don't know. Old Tin Hat. I'll have to look that up and see what that means. And then I'm also thinking of tin as in like the anniversary. I can't remember what anniversary tin is, but this could be like some kind of an anniversary for you and your inner child, or it could be the grandparent talking about their anniversary that they had and how you as a child were a big part of that, or something like that. Okay. And I'm seeing ant as well. So this could be, I don't know why you're getting so many bugs. Maybe you liked bugs as a kid, like going outside and just staring at all the bugs and getting up real close, like pushing your eye right up to the bug and like, whoa, cool. Maybe you had like an ant farm or something like that. I don't know. But the bugs or something that is coming up for whatever reason. Now, ant also makes me think of like an aunt. So we have a lot of family themes here as well. So if you haven't had a lot of time to connect to your family, this could be something that your inner child is needing, like that sense of connection. And they're asking you to reach out more. Maybe just call your aunt, call your uncle, call your brother, call your sister, call your grandparents, or just like connect to them in spirit if they're on the other side, that kind of thing. We have an in here. I didn't even notice that. So it's like inside, looking inward. What else is this making me think of? Yeah, internal is what I just got from that. It's very internal, this process. So focusing inward is going to be very helpful. All right, I think that is everything. Let me just double check. Yep, that's everything. So that's what I see for you, group number 1. This was a really fun reading. I'm so glad that I was inspired by my inner child to create this for you, and I hope that you resonated and benefited from it as well. And so that is what I see. I hope and I wish all of the love and blessings and fun and joy and play and healing for you and your inner child as you go through this journey. Let me know if you decide to do that inner child day for yourself. Let me know how it goes in the comments below. And if you're needing some more direct healing and support for your inner child and the relationship that you have with them, then I do actually provide those services as well. So we, through the spiritual counseling and mentorship, or through the psychic energy reading and healing, we can focus on the inner child. And I have done a lot of that with clients, and it's very, very helpful. And I've seen profound change from that. So if you're interested or you're in need of that and you resonate with me as an inner child support, then you can find find the link to my website in the description box below where you can book online with me. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Thank you for liking the video. My inner child lights up at that because this feels like play to me. This feels like fun and brings me joy. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right, hi group number 2, welcome to your inner child reading. So let's take a look and see what messages your inner child is needing to hear right now. Oops, okay. So for group number 2, what does their inner child need to hear right now? You have the 9 of Wands. So this is feeling very much like woundedness. Your inner child is guarded. Your inner child is feeling as though they've been through a lot and they're needing some support. You have the Knight of Wands. So lots of Wands cards here. Your inner child is very, I'm getting the sense of like playfulness and energy. Like they might just want to run around, but the part of them is feeling wounded from the experiences of the past and the challenges that they've had to overcome, that you have had to overcome. Oh, wow, you have the 10 of Cups. This is beautiful. This is like that happy home and the completion of this emotional cycle, bringing about so much fulfillment for you and healing, I'm seeing, and connection. It's also the happy family card. So your inner child is needing to connect more with memories of childhood that were super positive and that brought you this sense of connection and fulfillment through your safety in your relationships with your family. This is the, Page of Cups is like such an innocent, childlike energy, and it's very emotionally gratifying is the word that I'm hearing. So your emotional gratification needs to be front and center to be able to connect more with your inner child and to heal your inner child and to get your energy back as well. Because I feel like some of it may have been dampened down through some challenges and things and obligations and responsibilities that you had to take on as you matured and you grew up and you became an adult. And it's like now you're needing to reconnect with that inner child, which is why you clicked on the reading. And your inner child is like, yay, I'm so excited. Like, what can we do? And so we're going to get guidance on that. You have the Chariot. So again, I'm feeling like travel and movement are a big theme here, especially with the Knight of Wands and the Chariot sitting right on top of each other. It's like maybe your inner child needs to move or just like get outside more or go run around or maybe travel somewhere. Maybe they want to go on a road trip or they just want to go explore the city, something like that. It's like maybe they actually want to travel the world. For some of you, your inner child is just very curious about travel and it wants to have those experiences. And that could be something that's really beneficial or supportive. You have the Lovers card. It's so beautiful, you guys. I feel like the Lovers here is very much to do with the love that you have, the innocence that you have in your heart. I feel like this is you really connecting to your divinity as well as what I'm seeing, because it's like the bunny angel up above, just creating harmony and balance and abundance in this environment. And that's kind of what I'm getting here as well. It's like the Lovers in your environment. So this could be within your relationships now. This could be within your family connections as well, because it doesn't always have to be romantic. And I just get the sense that there's illumination happening in these areas so that you can become more of your authentic original self, which is your inner child, or a part of that is your inner child. Okay. You have the 8 of Pentacles. And one more. The 10 of Pentacles. Yeah, this is definitely family related. Like there's so much family energy here in your reading so far. So we will get oracle cards and some blocks and fun things like that. But I'm just seeing initially that group number 2, this is very much about your family. It's about your relationships and your connections, how you can emotionally communicate to other people and express your needs or what brings you joy, and focusing more on those things, because even the bunny in the 9 of Wands is looking over at that family. He's like, oh, I wish that I could focus on that. They look so happy and they're having so much fun. And he's just like, I'm over here getting hit over the head by life, So it's important that you prioritize not just work all day long, but also play and fun and connection and family support and feeling that sense of community and that sense of emotional fulfillment. Really, really important for your inner child. They need those connections. And that's what I'm seeing very prominently here in your reading. And even they're reminding me of the image that you chose, which is the teddy bear. And I did put lots of teddy bears here in the reading because that was my favorite thing. My childhood toy was Beanie the teddy bear, and I still have like lots of teddy bears all around my house. I have a giant teddy bear that I sleep with at night. So yeah, I'm 34, but I still I'm very childlike, and I embrace that. I welcome that because my inner child, she needs that. She is soothed by those things, and I honor her. So little Siobhan is here as well, letting you know that it's important to prioritize this sense of satisfaction for yourself as well. Let's get some cards from the Unicorn Oracle. So for group number 2, what does their inner child want to say to them or need to hear? You have a definitely yes, and group number 1 got this as well. For you here, I'm feeling like I just heard granting a wish. So maybe your inner child has a wish that they want granted, and you need to say yes to them in regard to whatever that happens to be. Maybe that's their wishes to connect to people and have these really meaningful, loving, supportive relationships, and to focus on maybe the granting of the wish is because I'm seeing the star. I'm seeing the star above this bunny's head or on his crown, and it's making me think of like wishing upon a star. And that's, kids do that. I used to do that for sure. And so it's kind of like, what wish can you grant for your inner child? Maybe they want to go travel. Oops, oh my God, I keep hitting that. I'm getting a new tripod in the mail soon. But yeah, maybe they want to go travel. Maybe they want to, wow, there's a lot of messages that your inner child is wanting to say. So maybe they're wanting to explore and expand and feel safe doing that. That's really important. It's funny because you have on this side of the reading very like home-centered, home-centric, familial type of connections and relationships. And then over on this side, you have like work and success and expansion and also adventure and travel. So you have these two sides that are kind of, I think, needing to be balanced here. Talk about your feelings. That's Page of Cups, right? Meow. So the talk about your feelings, tell a friend how you feel card is your inner child letting you know that they really need to talk about how they feel to you. This could be talking to people in your life as well. Like you might be talking to your family members or to your romantic partner or to friends about how you're feeling and how your inner child is feeling, if you trust them to be able to hold space for you in that way. This could also just be you listening and asking your inner child, like, how are you feeling right now? So for example, I do that every day. I will literally, I'll tune into my inner child as often as I can remember to do. And I will say, hey, how are you doing? What do you need? And sometimes she's like, I'm fine. And other times she's like, I'm feeling sad. And I'll be like, why, sweetheart, what's going on? And then she'll tell me like, this is happening and I don't feel good about it. And I'm like, okay, I understand. Thank you for telling me that. And then we're able to work together to heal it or to relieve some of that sadness or grief. Or maybe sometimes she's like, I'm impatient. I don't want to be doing this work. I just want to go play. And I'm like, I know, honey. And we will. And so it's just like giving that support and that connection through that conversation internally with yourself can be so healing. Please don't discount the level of transformation that this can bring into your life. That's why you were drawn to this reading, because your inner child needed to hear this and you needed to hear this so that you can come together with them to work together to improve your overall experience of life. So let's take a look at what else you have here. Water, drink more water and eat foods with water in them, such as fresh fruits and vegetables. So treat your inner child like you would your actual child or children. If you don't have them, then just parent your inner child as if they were your own, and because they are. So this could be about really focusing on healthy choices, things that are going to support your inner child and your physical self now too, because you're one being. There's many different layers and aspects of you, but you're one being. well-being. So if you treat your body well, you're also treating your inner child well. Water could also be a theme here, because I am seeing the water in the Cups cards and even the water in the background of the Chariot card. Oh my God. So this feels very much like the connection to the emotional body, or this could even be literally going to water. If you were somebody who as a child you loved to swim, or you loved to be by the water, or go to the pool, or be in the ocean, or go to lakes, then this could be something that your inner child is needing to have that need met as well. I'm definitely getting all things to do with water. So drinking more water, hydrating yourself, offering up and communicating your emotions, because that Cups card, the Page of Cups, is very much talking about that. And it could even be traveling over water, traveling overseas as well. Or maybe you're going on a cruise. It's like a very enjoyable vacation for your inner child. Maybe it's like a Disney cruise or something, where there's all these fun activities for your inner child to enjoy. That's really, that would be cool. I want to go on a Disney cruise. My inner child just got real excited. I'm like, okay. Simplicity, put your energy into the basics and let go of excess. It's so funny because I was literally just thinking about a Disney cruise, which is like super excess, right? That's like the excess of excess. And they're saying put your energy into the basics. And so maybe it's not so much about doing all of these extravagant things. Maybe it's just about connecting to your family and to the things that brought you joy as a child. So your inner child is really needing to feel as though life is not so complicated, right? Because children, they can get overwhelmed by complication. They don't understand those things. And even though your adult self does, your inner child is not your adult self. Your inner child exists in that perpetual state of childhood and childlike mindset. So being able to simplify things for them and communicate in a simple way can really help them to feel more at peace. And you have listened to your true feelings. Don't let others talk you into doing something that you know is wrong. So I love this for you, especially since you had the Page of Cups and you had talk about your feelings. So what you really need to hear right now, and your inner child are really needing, is to listen to your feelings, to talk to your inner child about how you're feeling, and listen to them about how they're feeling as well. They need to know, okay, what your inner child needs to hear right now. It's coming through in like a channeled way. So your inner child needs to hear this. You are worthy. I am listening to how you feel. I am so thankful when you speak to me and communicate to me and express to me your deepest emotions. It is safe for you to communicate those with me because I love you and I want to understand how you're feeling, and I want to provide for you in support of your needs. So please let me know what it is that you feel so that we can enjoy life together and heal as one. Okay, so that's definitely a message coming through there. Let's oh no, they don't want the Nature Whispers cards for this. Okay, so then we're going to move to the charms, stickers, and blocks. So this is just some fun stuff that I really loved as a child. I collected stickers. I had sticker books. I loved blocks. I loved like all just colorful, playful things. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pull some stickers first, and then we'll get blocks. So for group number 2, you have, oh yeah. So this makes me think of, it's like a realization is what it feels like oh yeah, or like a remembrance. That's the feeling I'm getting from this. Like, I forgot about that. It's like you just tuning in to your inner child and prioritizing their feelings. It's going to bring so much clarity in and realizations and even joy, because you are, it's like you're reconnecting with this lost part of you, and you might remember things that you used to enjoy, or remember things that really filled you with that 10 of Cups energy of like such fulfillment and safety and connection, and just like this overabundance of joy. So you are going to definitely experience that by connecting to your inner child. You also have the peace fingers. So this makes me think of like, make peace with your inner child. Your inner child needs to hear that you are on their side, and that you love them and that you are here to listen to them with a peaceful heart and a peaceful ear. So you're not going to challenge them. You're not going to battle against them. You're like, I come in peace. That's what I'm hearing. Ooh, and I just got big shivers. So your inner child needs to know that you come in peace. That way they can feel safe to emotionally open up to you. And that way you, as an adult, can feel safe to emotionally connect to other people in a more significant and authentic way. And then you have, oh my God. Okay, let me just tune into this one and feel what is coming through from it. It's so funny. I'm hearing in my head like, OMG. So this might actually be a little bit more of your inner adolescent. I'm feeling like preteen type of energy here. It's so funny. And even with the gum, that's making me think of preteen, like chill out, like, oh my God. So part of your inner child is actually your adolescent as well. That's very interesting. That's new. Wasn't expecting that. But yeah, every version of you that's ever existed in real time still exists within you. And they didn't grow up. You did, but those parts of you didn't, at least not in the same way that you have. So it's like connecting to these different parts of yourself. Okay, yeah. If you were a teenager or an adolescent who really didn't have the social connections or the family connections or relationships to be able to speak safely about how you truly felt, like if people kind of brushed you off or they didn't make time for you or they just didn't understand you when you did try to communicate, this is your inner child and your inner adolescent feeling a bit kind of not stubborn. What's the word I'm trying to think of here? It's like haughty, I guess would be the word, like feeling, when teenagers kind of, they act tough as a facade to try and protect that inner vulnerability. That's what I'm feeling from this. It's like you felt internally vulnerable, and so you tried to act tough and act like you were so chill and act like it didn't bother you, or that you were very independent, like you're good on your own. And I do get that feeling from you, group number 2. I feel like you're very, very independent and you pride yourself on that. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's such a wonderful trait to have. What I'm seeing here is also that it is important to have these social connections, these community support, this tribe, this sense of belonging, this emotional capacity to connect to other people and to feel safe doing that. But to have those connections with other people be safe, you first have to have the connection and relationship with yourself be safe. And so what I'm seeing here is connecting to your inner adolescent or teenager and in conjunction with your inner child, and really allowing them to speak their truth and to hear them and to actually listen and seek to understand what it was that they were feeling or what they are feeling now in regard to your current life circumstances. Okay, so now let's get the fireside story dice. So these are fun. This is a fun game to allow us to see what other messages are coming through. So for group number 2, what does their inner child or inner adolescent need to know or need to hear right now? The first one that's drawing my attention is the tools, so the hammer and wrench, and it feels like there's something that needs to be repaired. So the relationship between you and your younger selves needs to be repaired. And so it's like you kind of need to sit down and connect to them so that they will feel safer to open up to you, because the house is making me think of safety, security. They really need to have that sense of a firm foundation so that you can get to that 10 of Cups and 10 of Pentacles energy. But you have to lay the groundwork. You need to make sure that foundation is stable so that they can feel safe to connect and to open up to you, because that's also what I'm seeing is opening up. Now they're pointing at the teddy bear. And I love that you got the bear, because obviously that's a big theme in the reading here. But the finger pointing at the bear is kind of indicating like you need a security. You need like a comfort something or other. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a family member, maybe it's like a group activity that you do, or maybe it's a physical thing like a teddy bear. Because I did mention in the beginning of this reading that I still use my teddy bear. I have. Well, it's not my old one from childhood. I lost Beanie, unfortunately. Oh, that still hurts me in my heart. But I lost Beanie in a move, if you're curious. Yeah, that's why I wasn't just careless. It was a tricky situation. And anyway, doesn't matter. Point being is that, okay, sorry. It does matter. It does matter. My inner child just got really upset when I said that. It does matter, sweetheart. And I know that it was a big loss for you. So this could have been a childhood toy that you had that is calling you to reconnect with it, whether it's physically still with you or not. You can still reconnect to the energy of that. This could also be purchasing a new toy, going out and getting yourself a stuffed animal that resonates with you and using that as a comfort item for your inner child to reconnect and feel that sense of safety and security. And then we have this block looking like that haughtiness of the inner teen and the inner adolescent. It's so interesting that they are coming up so strongly in this reading. I wasn't expecting that. But it makes sense, right? Because it's your inner past selves. So this version of you, like that adolescent, is very kind of like, I don't care, whatever, it's not a big deal. But they do. I can feel that their heart is very sensitive and very gentle, and they do need to be understood. They do need to have that sense of connection. And instead of remaining guarded in that way, but being very worried and feeling scared underneath, they really just need that sense of connection. They really just need that communication to be something that they feel is prioritized, or that you're taking steps towards, like you're actually prioritizing and setting aside time to be able to connect to your inner adolescent, your inner teenager, and your inner child. Okay, they're drawing my attention to the snake. So let me just, healing, right, yes, okay. So the healing here is in regard to your transformation. It's important that you transform yourself. And I forgot, I didn't really show you this one, the footsteps. So the footsteps, taking footsteps or taking steps towards this healing, taking steps towards reconnecting with your inner child, creating this sense of security, which is going to be very, very lucrative and long-standing for you in terms of joy and in terms of your foundations, because you did have the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups, which is huge, huge energy. Now, it's interesting that you have the plane here, because I was picking up on travel with the Chariot and the Knight of Wands. So this could definitely be about international travel. Maybe your inner child and your inner teen have a real thirst for knowledge and adventure and exploration. And that's, it's funny because they did mention like simplify life, but travel is definitely not simple. It's a big thing, but I do feel as though it's like somehow it's going to simplify things. I don't know how that makes sense, but it's like if you go and you travel, it's going to make things clearer for you, and it is going to simplify your life in a way, even though it will be more kind of complicated or changeable or transient. There is an aspect of it that is going to, it's like it creates a more basic sense of understanding of the world, and in that you're able to simplify your inner world and relationships. Okay, that's cool. The leaves here, I just heard leave it. So leave it behind, leave something that doesn't work for you anymore, needs to be left behind. Or maybe you left something behind. Oh, because I did put it right underneath the finger, which is pointing to that. Sorry, I just interrupted there. But anyway, so what I was talking about here was the leave it with the finger pointing to the stuffed animal or to the bear. So this could have been somebody, like an adult or somebody like that, who said you have to leave it behind. Or maybe it was your inner adolescent who said, we have to leave our old childish ways behind, or we have to grow up, we have to mature. And so because of that, if it was someone outside of you, or if it was even yourself internalizing those messages from outside of you, it's like this reconnection to that inner security or that comfort stuffy, or the people who you need to connect to feel that sense sense of security and safety is really important here. And it's important that you don't leave those behind, because it's not good to let go of things that give you that sense of comfort. If it's harming you, then yes, of course, but I don't think that a stuffed animal can harm you, right? Unless you become so reliant and dependent on it that it becomes something that limits you. So there's nuance to this, of course, obviously, but what I'm sensing here is that it would actually be supportive of you and your inner child and adolescent to reconnect to those things that did bring you that sense of security and comfort. And then you have the lightning bolt, which is making me think of an epiphany. So it's like the, oh yeah moment again. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Or, oh yeah, this does make me feel better. And it's just this big realization or this epiphany that comes when you intentionally connect to your inner child. The hot dog is making me think of like, oh, hot dog. Now I've got it. Now I've figured it out. Now I can actually understand what it is that I'm needing. I love that all three of these blocks are orange. We just finished with all these orange blocks. So this makes me think of the sacral chakra, which is to do with your pleasure. The hot dog can also speak of that, right? It's like, it could be like a comfort food or something you enjoyed in childhood. And reconnecting to those sensory pleasures and sensory experiences that did bring you joy in childhood is also something that your inner child is needing more of, and therefore is needing to hear or to feel again. Okay, so now let's grab some letter blocks. So when I was a kid, I used to love to play Boggle, and I was like the Boggle champion of my household. I've always had a flair for words, spoken, written, all of it. So let's play with these Boggle blocks to find some additional messages for you. Okay. I just saw tut, like tut tut. Tut tut, don't bring that toy with you. You're too old for that kind of thing. And so your inner child needs to know that it's okay. It's okay to want these things. I'm seeing tug. It's like you might be having a tug of war between your inner child and your inner adolescent. One is trying to be like putting up that facade or that mask of maturity where it's your inner adolescent actually still needs to be that child. Maybe you were forced to grow up too quickly, or you had to mature to be hyper independent because maybe your parents weren't around, or they just weren't very emotionally present, or something like that. And so you had to kind of take responsibility at an early age and grow out of things really quickly, which it's not good. Maybe that's why the inner adolescent is here. That actually makes a lot of sense, because that could be why it's so important to reconnect your inner adolescent to your inner child, because that may have been something that they had to grow out of too quickly. So that will prevent this tug of war from happening. I also was seeing, now I'm seeing something different. Hold on. So I'm seeing toe. And you did have the footsteps here, so the feet, or the footprints. So this could be something to do with your feet, like moving forward, taking steps. That's so funny. I'm seeing suck. Maybe you had a soother as a kid, or your inner adolescent is like, this sucks. Yeah. Something about the toes, I think it's separate from that message, but the toes makes me think, or maybe you sucked on your toes as a baby, because babies are so flexible, you know what I mean? Instead of sucking on your thumb, maybe you sucked on your toe. And it's just kind of like, the soother or the pacifier or the comfort object, things like that. It's like your inner child really needs that comfort back. They need that soothing, whatever it happens to be. The toe here is also making me think of stability, because we need our toes to stabilize us so that we can walk. So if we don't have toes, we just fall over. It's like our balance is gone. And I was seeing before also the TOG was making me think of the word tongue. So it's very much about your body and your sensory experiences. That's what the sacral chakra was talking about as well with the color orange. So it feels very much, because I even see the VE as very, it feels very much like you're meant to reconnect to your physical sensory experiences that brought you comfort as a child and as an adolescent, to help to heal some of this sucks energy, right? Like coming back into pleasure instead of experiencing life as sucky, which is what the Nine of Wands was talking about. It's like woundedness from a lot of trials and tribulations and feeling very guarded because of that. That's the adolescent. And so it's like coming back into your experience of the pleasure of life, the comfort that things can bring, and the positive sensory experiences that that can help to ease your heart. Yeah. Okay, let me see what else. I'm seeing the word guess here. We're missing a second S, but that's okay. And I spelled it wrong, but you get the gist. So guess what? Guess who? Oh my God. If you guys are like millennials or like 90s babies or 80s babies, then you'll remember the game Guess Who. I loved that as a kid. My daycare had that. And so every time I would go in, we would always play together, me and the other kids, the Guess Who game. So, and maybe this is kind of like you playing Guess Who with yourself even. It's like you kind of have to identify which part of you is needing what and how to meet those needs. So it's kind of like in the game Guess Who, if you've never played it, you have to ask the other person for the traits to try and identify which character they've chosen. And so out of all of the different characters, you're saying, do they wear glasses? Do they have light hair? Are they a female or are they male? And if you guess, if they say no, then they have to put those characters down. And eventually you have to try and realize who it is, because the characters, you have them all here on your side as well. So it's kind of like getting to know your own different characters within you. And I feel like that's where that oh yeah moment is going to come in, and that epiphany or that lightning bolt striking, going, oh my God, I know who it is. And then you are able to better meet those needs at that core level. Two is making me think of going to somewhere. So again, this travel theme keeps coming up. Maybe you're being called, maybe you moved away from your home or city and you need to go back to it to just kind of refresh and remember some of those things. Maybe it will spark some childhood memories or some adolescent memories that will help you to heal and integrate some of the things that occurred in that place. Or this could be traveling somewhere that you've never been to have new experiences that are very sensory positive for you. Okay. I'm seeing the word us. And Velcro. This VK is making me think of Velcro. So it's kind of like you guys got to stick together. You and all of your other selves, you got to stick together, like Velcro. So make sure that you are prioritizing that. Velcro also makes me think of like kids' shoes, because we didn't know how to tie our shoelaces yet. So we had Velcro. So I just feel like this is something as well, is that going back to that innocence and acknowledging that your inner child doesn't know how to do these things yet. So it is important that you, as the adult now, take initiative to connect you all back together. I'm also seeing go and the word got. So I feel like you're meant to go somewhere. You're definitely meant to travel. This is part of a big part of your development at soul level, and in regard to uniting all of these aspects of yourself, coming back into wholeness. And then got, this makes me think of like, you got something out of this, or you will get something out of this. And it's funny because even on the side, I know you guys can't see, so I'm going to flip these over. I spelled got, and on the other side it says has. So this could be something that you got in childhood. Oh yeah, it could be something that's like in your possession still. It could be something emotional that you got in childhood that is needing to be healed, but this could actually, like, you have something. You have something from childhood. And they're pointing to the bear. So you got something, you got like that comfort animal, maybe it was gifted to you, and they're saying has, like you still have it. Some of you still have it, and they want you to go get it. Yeah, they want you to find it and take it out and put it somewhere that you can see it and that you can remember. Maybe it'll act as a prompt or a reminder to connect to your inner child, because it's like sometimes in adult life we get busy, and this can help you to remember to check in with your inner self and all of the yous that are in there that need your support. Sus is coming up. Sus makes me think of like suspicious. And I think that this is your inner adolescent. Your inner adolescent is very not trusting, like they're very guarded. That's the Nine of Wands energy. And so they're suspicious. Even, yeah, again, that block that we had there with the side eyes. Your inner adolescent is very suspicious of you and your intentions as the adult version. They're very suspicious of adults in general, because I think that's where that pain came from, of like being forced to leave things that you loved. I also just got a message of got and has being related to somebody else has got your teddy bear. Somebody else has it. Maybe you gave it to someone for safekeeping, or maybe it went into storage and you need to go somewhere to get it. Oh, for some of you, or for at least one of you, that's a message, because I'm getting big chills again. That's always a confirmation of truth. And I see the word K, like, okay, yes, I get it now. Oh, yes, okay, I'll go get it. Very important, VE, very important. It is important that you retrieve that. Interesting. Okay, so let me see if there's any other messages here. Nope, that's everything. So that is what I see for you, group number 2. Your inner child is a beautiful, beautiful being, and your inner adolescent is also needing some of that comfort and security and soothing, and travel and expansion and enjoyment and comfort and pleasure. So I'm wishing you and your inner child and your inner adolescent so much healing, love, and luck and blessings in possibly finding this comfort toy or this security and creating this very bountiful 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, long-term familial connection, support, and emotional healing between yourself and all of your loved ones. So that is what I see for you, group number 2. Thank you so much for joining me today and allowing me to do this reading for your beautiful, beautiful inner child and past selves. And if you want to work with me one-on-one to do some more personalized or intensive inner child healing, I do that with clients. I have done many sessions of those in the past, and I'm very experienced with it by working with my inner child as well. And I would recommend, if you are interested in something like that, to go for either the spiritual counseling and mentorship reading or services, or the psychic energy reading and healing, because that can help us to tune into the inner child more directly. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right. Hi, group number 3. If you chose the Lego block, then this is your reading about what your inner child needs to hear right now. So let's go ahead and jump into your cards and see what that is. So what does group number 3's inner child need to hear right now? You have the Two of Pentacles. So it looks like they need to hear that things are going to be balanced. I'm also getting a very playful energy from this card. Something about the bucket on their head is just making me think of they need like a beach day, or they need to hear that they can just go and have some fun if and when they need that. What else for group number 3? The Five of Wands. I'm getting an energy of all work and no play. This may be creating conflict for your inner child. They may be feeling as though there's just a lot of things going on, and they are feeling a bit overwhelmed or frustrated. They may need to have some time to refuel, because play for them is refuel, because they're showing me the dry sands of the background here in the Five of Wands. It's like they're in a desert or a dry lake bed. And in the Two of Wands, there's water. There's lots of water in the background. So this could be about refueling. They need to hear that they're going to be prioritized and that there's going to be balance brought in for them in regard to play and fun. And this could also be what the Five of Wands is talking about too. If these people aren't in conflict and they're not having a battle, then they could just be playing together, sparring, like kids with sticks at the park, and they're just pretending that they're swords, that kind of thing. Let's take a look. What else? You have the Knight of Cups, definitely to do with water and watering something that's dry. The water represents emotions. So your inner child is needing to have their emotions be prioritized, be welcomed, be listened to or felt. And you have the Justice card, which I love since you have the Two of Pentacles as well. So this is very, very much about balance. Your inner child needs balance. And again, if you've been doing too much of one thing and not enough of the other, it's creating an imbalance that the inner child is wanting to have addressed here, or they're needing to know that it's going to be looked at, it's going to be understood and dealt with. You also have the Three of Wands. So I'm getting from this card that your inner child may feel like you've turned your back on them. They may feel as though you're not listening to them emotionally, or that you're not creating balance. They may, again, it's like they're looking out at the water, or they're looking out at the beach. So maybe some of your inner children just really, really want to go to a lake or to the beach or to somewhere where they can play near water, because we do have a lot of this water energy here in your reading, and the balance needing to come from that. There's something about the water that will be very healing for your inner child. And they're also calling me to mention the video that I currently have uploading right now at the time that you're watching this. It may be already uploaded, and it's to the sea. So for whatever reason, they're calling me to mention that to you. So group number 3, there may be some specific messages for you and your inner child in that reading if you want to check it out. Okay, let's see. Let's get a few more, and then we'll get into the oracle. And then we have some other fun things, stickers and blocks and letters and stuff like that. So there we go. I think that's the next 3. You have the Moon card with more water here, and the Moon is very much about the emotional realm, the subconscious mind, and this could be where the inner child is living at this point, because if they are repressed or being neglected or unseen, this is where they could be hanging out, is in the subconscious mind. And so they're needing you to prioritize connecting with them, bringing them into the conscious mind so that you can have clear understanding of who they are, what they need, what brings them joy, and how they emotionally are needing to be nurtured. And you have the Queen of Wands. This is beautiful because you do have wands here in the card, in many of the cards, and the wands are fire. And I love that you have fire and water, and then you have these cards of balance. So fire is the passion, the spirit, the vigor for life, growth, creative expression, and action. And then cups are, and water is about emotions and flowing and feeling. So it's like there's a need for balance between these two things, these two aspects of yourself, both within your inner child and possibly within your adult self as well. And you have the Queen of Cups, just to confirm exactly what I was just saying. I love tarot. This is why I love it, because it's just the magic that you get to see right on camera, right on screen, right in the moment. You've got that fire and that water, and they're needing to be balanced. They're needing to connect and communicate. They're needing to have a conversation, I just heard in my head. So having these two sides of you be able to communicate effectively is going to really, really appease some of the worries or the fears of the inner child. Okay, let's take a look at your oracle. So we're going to get some from the Unicorn Oracle. So for group number 3, ooh, oh wow, you have healer, you have the power to help and heal others. That's also water energy, and fire, they're reminding me as well. So fire is like the universal life force energy that channels through as spirit. It can be very cleansing and purifying. And water is that as well. And I feel like your inner child is a natural healer. They may want to offer healing to others. They may want to help people who are in conflict to find more balance. You may be an actual healer. So for example, Reiki or quantum healing or hypnosis, or maybe a therapist or counselor. Maybe you're just called to helping people to heal physically or emotionally in some degree, whether professionally or just because you enjoy doing that as like a a hobby or just kind of a lifestyle even. So I feel like your inner child is, first of all, needing healing and needing to be honored as the sacred healer that they are, but also needing to express that energy to the world, because that's what I'm feeling here, especially with the Knight of Cups. It's like your inner child wants to offer up this healing in some way. And it could even be healing for you. So your inner child could be trying to offer you healing in your adult expression. So that's really interesting. Okay. For group, oh, it is these three. Okay. You have one step at a time. Lots of little steps make big dreams come true. So I love this. I feel like the Knight of Cups is also talking about taking small steps and moving towards your goal, especially since it just feels like there's, again, a lot of healing energy here. The rainbow is making me think of the rainbow body, like the chakra system. So you could be actually an energy healer, or you might be drawn to energy healing. Your inner child is just such a natural, empathic, compassionate, heart-centered being. So I feel like that's something that if you're drawn towards it, go for it. You might even be drawn to doing like physical somatic healing or emotional healing through processing of some kind, like possibly EMDR or tapping. This could even be like salt bath cleansing or doing water cleansing of some kind. Maybe there's like a ritual of water cleansing that your inner child is kind of prompting you toward. There's so many messages of healing coming through for this group. This is really cool. And you have imagine, what would you see, feel, think, and hear if your wish came true? So it sounds like your inner child has a wish and they're wanting to make that come true. They're very, very imaginative. And that goes hand in hand with the heart-centered healing energy. I feel like the more empathic you are, the more imaginative and creative you are. They do go hand in hand, because universal life force energy is vital force energy that is used through creativity and imagination, and it connects you to the universe and all of that wisdom and knowledge. So I feel like because your inner child, and you as an adult as well, are so empathic and creative, that it's really about this imagination and being able to connect to this gift. And I love this. Relax, everything's okay. Don't worry, it's all going to be fine. So your inner child needs to hear that everything's going to be okay. They may be struggling emotionally, although I do see a lot of energy here in regard to them being very strong emotionally and being very imaginative and very empathic, but that may mean that they're extra sensitive. So they may have needed more care or more emotional support or scaffolding in childhood. And if they did not get that in the way they needed, then this could be why there's a need for more security now through you reparenting your inner child, especially since they're drawing my attention back to the Five of Wands, which is like that desert energy with conflict and people not necessarily getting along. But I see that your inner child is so innocent and just wanted to play, but other people were in conflict. And so there could be some stress about that. Or this could be even inner turmoil where there's like multiple parts of you that are kind of battling or vying for attention or for expression. Maybe one part of you wants to rest and heal. The other part wants to create and do. The other part wants to just ignore it all. Like it's like there's multiple different sides of you and they're all kind of vying for your attention. So relax, everything's okay. That's going to help your inner child to feel more secure, more safe, and to not worry, and to feel more balanced, to feel more stable, because that's what I'm getting from the two balance cards, is they just really need to feel as though things are balanced and stable. They're showing me in my mind's eye a teeter-totter as well. So maybe perhaps your inner child wants to go on a teeter-totter, or that will kind of give them a playful way of interacting with that energy or that archetype of balance. Very interesting. Okay, let's grab some Nature's Whispers. So for group number 3, this one and this one. Okay. What does their inner child need to hear right now? Be in service. Yes, you're definitely being called to be a healer or to be a light worker of some kind. I definitely feel empath energy from you, group number 3. Your inner child wants to be in service to others. They want to offer up their I just heard unfiltered love. So again, we're going back to the water. It's like unfiltered water in the sense that it's pure. It's not been diluted in any way. It's pure love and light. And I love that you've got this beautiful sea energy, because we did feel called, me and my spirit guides did feel called to mention to you the To the Sea reading, which is going to be coming out or is already out on the channel. So this energy of the ocean is very important for your inner child. This energy of you connecting to your subconscious, your emotional realm, possibly the moon, or healing, energy healing, physical healing, emotional healing. These are all aspects that your inner child is very talented at and wants to be in service. And you know that what they're just reminding me that I forgot to introduce my inner child to you. I'm so sorry. This is Siobhan, little Siobhan. And she was the one who inspired me to create this reading topic. So she said, we should talk about the inner child. And I said, you are so right, sweetheart. So this is little Siobhan, and she is very much resonating with this energy of you, group number 3, because I am also a healer. I'm quite literally an energy healer to this day. I'm a psychic medium. I do counseling. I do spiritual work on people. I help them to heal their karma, which is also the Two of Wands card. So that's what I kind of see here in your energy as well. And if you're not already in service in that way, your inner child is kind of saying, hey, this is an option. It would be really fulfilling. And this could be something that we're very skilled at, very naturally skilled at, because you just have this predisposition for natural empathic healing energy. Let's see, you also have gratitude and appreciation. I love the innocence and the inner child even in this card. It's like the ability to connect to that purity. Again, that purity is coming through, and the unicorn and the inner child here in the card, or the little child in the card, are making me think of that. So this purity of heart and soul, they're drawing my attention to the moon and the rainbow in the back there. So the moon did come up, we had that card, and then we also have the rainbow here. So lots of confirmation here about the rainbow body, the subconscious mind, emotional healing, being in service, being a light worker of some description or degree. Very, very interesting. So now we're going to do some fun things, and we're going to I'm going to put this tray in the center here so that we can get some some blocks and some letters and some stickers and fun things. So we're going to start with stickers. And for group number 3, what does their inner child want to say or need to hear? We actually have quite a few that they called me to grab. Okay, so these two coming out together, you have oh yeah and super cool. So this to me is feeling like, there's something that your inner child is very interested in doing. And again, we have the rainbow here. So this is something that they're very, very interested in, that they want to prioritize. They want to be able to do this kind of work if you aren't already. And if you are an actual healer of this degree, they're saying, oh yeah, this is super cool. This is what we always wanted to do. This is like that dream or that wish being fulfilled, because this is what your inner child came here to do. This is what the soul came here to do. And the inner child is a big part of that, because it's less filtered is what they're showing me. Again, the analogies of water are just off the charts in this reading. So your soul and your inner child are very, very similar frequencies. And that's why connecting to your inner child can even help you to reconnect to your soul and to reconnect to your soul purpose, and also to assist others in doing the same thing, is what I just heard. So you're going to be a peacemaker, or you are a peacemaker. Your inner child is very much needing to embrace that energy of peace, because even the Two of Pentacles and the Justice card are also speaking about peace and balance. So I do get this sense that you're very much here to create more peace, and they're drawing my attention to this one here, which is the go away sunglasses. So it's like you're here to make the pain of the world go away. You're here to create balance. You're here to bring peace. Your inner child is a big advocate for peace, is what I'm seeing. I'm getting very like yeah, very healer, very light worker, very, almost like hippie energy from your inner child. It's like they just want to be peace and love and like a flower child. And I literally looked over right a second after I said that and saw that in this card that's sitting underneath is the child, and she's in a field of flowers with that unicorn. So yes, your inner child is like a flower child, and they just want to be free and innocent and loving and peaceful, and they just want to offer that up to the world. And that is the greatest service that you can provide. So even if you're not doing like hands-on healing or some kind of energy healing or something like that, you are still providing service by being in that energy of divine love and compassion and peace. You have, oh my God. And this is feeling to me like, for whatever reason, the M is really standing out to me. It's like your inner child is, maybe there's an M in your name, but it's like the M can also be me, like, oh my God, and it's my something. So something is, your inner child is wanting to claim something or let you know that something is yours. What is that? Let's take a look and see if we can get clarification. You have the diamond here. So it feels like you are precious. Oh, okay. Your soul is precious. Your inner child is precious. The diamond here just makes me think of great, great value. Priceless is what I just heard. You're priceless. And you are needing to realize that if you haven't already, or acknowledge that you are priceless. Your energy is priceless. Your healing, your love is priceless. And if you are in service, for whatever reason, they're calling me to mention that if you are in service and you're charging for your services, you need to realize that those services are actually also priceless, because what you're doing is something that is so beyond the physical that if it was actually more karmically balanced, you would be just freely receiving infinite amounts of money rather than, a couple $100s or something like that. So for whatever reason, it's like this value is coming up very heavily. Your inner child wants you to know that your value is extremely precious. The O is making me think of the void space where infinity is created from, it's born from. It's like that's where you channel to. And the G is reminding me of God, but it also looks like an arrow that's recycling on itself. So yeah, again, infinity, your wealth of energy and knowledge and wisdom and healing is infinite. You're connected to the divine. Your inner child is extremely high vibrational. And this is what makes them a light worker, an angel, an earth angel, a healer, because they come from the inner child and the soul are very, again, similar frequency wise. And so your soul comes from a very, very expanded, exalted place is what I just heard as well. Okay. So let's get some additional info from the Fireside Story dice. So these are some fun blocks that we like to use here on the channel to, sorry if that's loud, to see what additional messages are wanting to come through. So for group number 3, all right. The first one that came out, and which I did notice first thing, was the fire block. So this is very Queen of Wands energy. That's what we were picking up on there. It's like the fire and the water. And it's the balance between these two elements within you that is really important for whatever reason. It's maybe how you channel your spirit. So you channel spirit through you and you create this passion, and it's like it burns like the sun is what I'm seeing. It burns like the sun. It's so bright. You are such a bright soul. And even though we had the moon energy here, it's like you illuminate. Oh, the moon is like, you are so bright that you light up others, because the moon doesn't glow on its own. It just reflects the light. It shines with the light of the sun. It reflects the light of the sun. So what I'm seeing in your in your energy and in your inner child is that you are so bright that you light up others. And that's the healer energy. That's the service that you provide, is that you illuminate their energy body. You bring balance to their chakras, whether you're doing this consciously or not. And your inner child knows how to do this. They're very intuitive. They're very psychic as well, especially with all that fire and water. Very, very psychic. The scissors here is making me think of the justice card that we had for you. So this very much feels like cutting karmic ties. I did also a reading on cutting karmic ties and we did a cord cutting ritual. If you haven't watched that one already, go check that out too. I don't know why you're getting so many like recommendations for my other videos in this reading, which is not normally the case. So anyway, it's like you're able to help other people to cut these karmic ties and to come back into clarity and awareness and unity with themselves, which is very, very interesting. You have the heart eyes. So again, this is making me think of like peace and love, and you just see the world through these very, very loving eyes. And your inner child, it needs to be acknowledged for that. They need to hear that this is a beautiful gift, because it is. It's very rare, especially with the diamond there. It's very, very rare. So make sure that you are honoring that gift, because it is priceless. Like they said, it is priceless. Okay, you have the pig here. I'm hearing one little piggy went to market. And this is making me think of a whole bunch of different things. First of all, the market makes me think of like selling your services or being in service in like a professional way. The little piggies obviously remind me of childhood, because, you know, lots of times that was the little nursery rhyme that was told to us. But it also makes me think of like, I didn't realize as a kid, and none of us did, I think, because we're so innocent and pure. We see everything through the eyes of love. That little piggy going to market doesn't mean a little pig with his shopping basket going to buy some carrots. It's the little piggy going to market to be slaughtered and killed. So it feels like your inner child is here to be of service, and they're so sensitive and empathic, but sometimes the world is very harsh. And I think that's what the Five of Wands was talking about there. And so you may have felt like you came here and this little piggy went to market, and kind of there may have been things that really hurt you in this world. And so your inner child is needing you to see that through the eyes of love and not to blame them or to hold on to that. It's like, if you can see that as something that if you can remain cool through those situations that are stressful, because they're showing me on the side of this block, the worried face. If you can remain cool through the worry, and didn't you have something about worry underneath as well? It's like they need to know that it's going to be okay, or that they're not going to be offered up for like a pig for the slaughter. Just because you have this very natural gift doesn't mean that you need to martyr yourself. That's a big message here. So you don't need to offer yourself up as an entree for other people to eat just because you have such bountiful energy. Okay, don't do that. And they're reminding me of the super cool energy and the sunglasses. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here as well. It's like you need to make sure that your inner child is protected, and that you are not allowing any of that self-sacrifice to become an unconscious pattern in how you are of service. Very important. It's like you need to see this very clearly. The moon card can sometimes obscure things. However, because it is a luminary in the darkest night, it can also help you to see things more clearly. So I do get the sense that you're able to create balance by finding a way to see in the dark. And I think a lot of that is very intuitive and psychic. And that's why you have so much of that fire and water energy, because it's like the fire creates awareness, and the water is like your empathic or clairsentient or psychic ability to see beyond what is physically there. So not only do you have that ability to light up the dark, but you're also able to feel into it. So you have multiple senses that help you to get through life unscathed. And you have this running person here. So I feel like for whatever reason, a message about physical fitness just came through. So you may actually need to just go and run around. Maybe your inner child is needing to feel free, and they need to go play, or they need to just exert some energy, because especially with the fire and all the wands cards here, they might just have a lot of energy and they need to burn that off in some way, because as a healer, you channel so much energy through you that it's important that you are exerting it effectively. And so part of that is going to be taking care of your physical body, body, and allowing that fire and that vital force energy to move through you, possibly through doing some physical exercise or physical play. But I also see this as it's like it needs to ground, basically. So like when you send a surge through wiring, it needs to be grounded, otherwise it blows the system. And so what I'm seeing here from your inner child is that they're needing you to consistently do these activities of grounding. And that could be quite literally going for a run, just because it's connecting you with your body and it's connecting you with the world around you, especially if you're going for walks or runs outside or in nature. That's going to be really, really helpful for your inner child. Not only does it help to cleanse and heal the heart, but it also connects you back to spirit and grounds the energy so that you're not overloading your system energetically. Because if you're a healer of this caliber, as I think that you are, as I feel that you are, then you need to be grounding that energy daily so that you're not overloading the system and then burning out. Because that's essentially like, right, if there's no ground line in a circuitry system and a big surge of lightning comes through, it's going to blow the whole system and fry it, because it's just too much energy. But if it's grounded, there's a certain wattage that it can handle, because the energy will flow through and then out. So that's what you're needing to do as well, is what I'm seeing here. Okay. Yeah, the picnic table is wanting to be next. So the picnic table here, let me just tune into it because I don't get anything right off the bat. Let me just see. There's an empty table. So normally when I see the picnic table, I see it kind of, it's always empty, obviously, in the block here, but I usually will psychically pick up on like people bringing food to the table or people gathered around the table. But here I'm seeing an actual empty table, like it's staying empty. So your inner child may feel disconnected or may feel like there's something that's not being provided for them. That's what it is. So you may need to emotionally check in with your inner child regularly. They need you to stop and listen to them and connect to them and sit at the table with them so that you guys can have a conversation. Because if you are, especially if you're focusing on feeding everyone else, I get the message that the empty table of your own is something to be addressed here. Because if you're constantly in service to others and you are very other focused, you may be neglecting yourself. And I think that's why they're saying focus on some physical things that you can do to reincorporate this healing for yourself and your own needs, and also to not self-sacrifice, because we did get that message there with the pig. And you have the palm tree. And this is also making me think of like a tropical area that's close to the ocean. So I do feel that your inner child is needing a break. They're needing a vacation. They're needing to remove some of that worry, because any worry that they've had or stress that they've had from doing this work, or from being a little neglected or put on the back burner, or just not really being prioritized in the way that they deserve. It's like if you can just take a vacation, whether it's in your mind or to a physical place, it's going to be really helpful, especially if it has water, because that's what we've been seeing throughout the reading here. They're actually drawing my attention to this little chick. So I feel like your inner child is very soft and fluffy and cute and very gentle. And so they do need, I just got the message of imprinting from this chick as well. So it's like when newborn chicks hatch out of the egg, it's like the first thing they see is what they imprint on. So that becomes their caregiver or their mother figure. So I'm seeing like your inner child needs to imprint on you, or you need to imprint on them, so that you both feel more connected and bonded, and even more of this healing energy will be able to come through. But you can also use it for yourself, which I think is really important here. And it's also, I'm getting this message of you need to teach them certain things. So maybe you've learned to do things as an adult that haven't necessarily translated to your inner child. I also see that your inner child has knowledge and skills and wisdom that maybe have not translated to you. So it's like, if you can connect with each other in this way, if you can sit down together and have a conversation and really emotionally and energetically connect, there's going to be benefits for both of you, the inner child and your adult self, because you're just creating so much more growth and awareness and this integration of knowledge. Really cool. Okay, the burger. The burger here is making me think of sustenance and nutrition. It does feel like Oh, there's layers to it as well. The burger, they're showing me the layers. It's like there's many different aspects to this healing or to this inner child relationship. There's just so much, like one on top of another. So that's why I think sitting down and getting to know your inner child or connecting with them very, very, I just heard ritually. So maybe doing it in like a ritual style connection. Maybe it's a full moon thing because they're bringing me to the lunar cycles, or maybe doing it in like a ritual with water. So maybe you're doing like an inner child baptism or an inner child rebirth or something like that. Like making it magical, basically, because that's what your soul and your inner child are all about. So there's layers to this, and there will be different things to learn from each layer, is what they're saying. Okay, I'm not like 100% sure on what that means, but maybe we'll get more information as we continue. You have the softball or the baseball. So this, let me tune into this one as well. That's so interesting. They're showing me the stitching and the arrow like pointing in the direction. It's reminding me of the G that looked like an arrow to me. And so I'm seeing this as your ability to change direction quickly and to follow your soul and your calling. So if you're not in a line of work right now that resonates with your inner child, this could be a direct message for you, for some of you, maybe not all of you, about being in service. It's like you're being redirected to be in service in a different way or in a way that you maybe haven't been before. And there is layers to this. So it's like take it one bite at a time is what they're saying. There's some imprinting or learning to do, maybe through a teacher. This could be a teacher in a foreign land is what I'm seeing with the palm tree as well. Maybe you'll have to go there, travel to go there. But it's really going to help you to get out of any kind of self-sacrifice or martyrdom energy. It's like you're going to be able to cut that out, see it clearly, come back to love, stay cool, and then channel this fire. The fire also makes me think of Kundalini. So the Kundalini energy is the very, very primal fire within the body, and it's activated through the chakra system when we awaken at a very high level. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here as well. It's like you have a diamond heart and you're meant to activate this Kundalini fire within yourself. You may even be a Shaktipat transmissioner, I just heard as well. I'm not 100% sure on what that is. Pretty sure Shaktipat is some kind of like energy activation or Kundalini activation. So you may be somebody who does that for others to some degree, whether it's Shaktipat or not. It's like some kind of energy activation that you give to others because you're such a high level energy channeler or energy being. All right, so now let's get some letters and we'll see what additional messages are wanting to come through. So I'm just going to move these out of the way. Yeah, your inner child is just very, very powerful spiritual being. Okay, so for group number 3, okay, so these two S's. So first of all, because you're such an intuitive, psychic, empathic being, I'm feeling called to mention that if you see connections here, then feel free to interpret those messages how you see fit. I'm seeing SS. This could be your initials or initials of somebody important. Look at all the R's. You have 3 R's. That is so bizarre. My inner child's having fun with that. SSRRR. The R's are making me think of like rest, rest, rest. Rest, rest, rest. It's important that you are balancing rest with service. Oh, because that's the S, service. Service, rest, service, rest, service, rest, right? And then you're able to, I'm seeing LNT as learned. Like you've learned something in the past that's going to help you to do this service or to provide rest for others as well. It's like you're able to really heal. Okay, these two are making me, the TR is making me think of tree. I'm also seeing turn. So tree is making me think of this palm tree. So again, that same message or similar message or just about grounding. And then turn is making me think of it's your turn for success. That could also be, it's like the turning of the wheel that we saw with the G and with the arrows here in the baseball. So it's like it's your turn, or it's something about taking turns. Oh, that's the teeter-totter energy too. It's like one goes up, then one goes down, and one goes up. So could be about taking turns with your inner child, or balancing things out so that it's like you're doing service for others, which is their turn, and then you take care and do service for yourself, which is your turn. So you take turns and it's balanced. That's really what I'm seeing there, so that you don't end up with less, because there's an E on the side of this, and that's why I was like less. So that you don't end up with less, you need that R&R to make sure that you're rejuvenating, because you are a very high energy being, but you still need rest, you still need care, you still need grounding. There's things that you need, even though you're connected to that infinite energy and that priceless source of vital force. It's like you still need to take turns for yourself. You still need to prioritize your peace. You still need to say go away sometimes to people so that you can rest. You maybe need to take a vacation, or you need to take a break, or you need to take weekends off or something like that. Maybe you need a nap in the middle of the day. This is important for your inner child to have their needs met in this way, so that they don't feel like they're running themselves ragged. Okay. SR, this could be, again, I'm getting initials here, and it's so funny because I actually have SR. That's my friend who passed away 10 years ago, 11 years ago. But I'm also getting like senior. So I feel like there's an evolved version of you. There's like a wise elderly spirit that's with you. And maybe this is the person who's going to be helping you to learn or to imprint. It's like they're a caregiver. Maybe this was a grandparent or a mother, or this could just be like a guide who is very, very a very old soul. You could also be a very old soul. Actually, that makes a lot of sense too, because being in service in this way and being called and having this level of infinite energy, yeah, you're a very old soul. So that's senior energy. So you might feel like a young little chick, but you actually have so many layers to you, and you're very, very advanced. And that's why there's so much energy here. I also see this as like sir. And they're calling, and I'm seeing like sorry for whatever reason. It's like sir and sorry. So you may feel like, oh, your inner child feels like they need to say sorry for something, but I don't think that they've done anything wrong. So maybe somebody, maybe a man, because it's sir, maybe a man or a masculine, could be a father figure or somebody else. Maybe they feel like they were hurt in that relationship, or they hurt someone else inadvertently, which is never ever what your soul and your inner child want to do. It's like you're such a healing being that if you perceive that you caused any harm, it's like you always want to karmically balance it, because you're such a peacemaker. So if there was some kind of conflict, if there was some kind of disagreement or misunderstanding or argument or something, because they're showing me the 5 of Wands in my mind's eye, because I can't physically see it, so they're just showing it into me in my mind. But yeah, it's like there was some kind of conflict or disagreement or battle, and it could be with a man or a masculine energy, and they're wanting to say sorry, or they need an apology from that person. I'm not sure if it's that your inner child wants to say sorry, or that they need a sorry for them. So take it how it resonates. Oops. I'm seeing like nest, and we did have that little chick there, so I feel like it's time to leave the nest, or maybe you did leave the nest, and maybe that was something to do with the father. But I'm also seeing nesting as like security, comfort, safety, being able to birth something new into life. And that chick is making me think of like this new direction or this new learning in regard to this service or to this connection with your inner child or something along those lines. Interesting. The comfort, because they're drawing my attention to the card underneath here that says, "Don't worry, it's all going to be fine." The nest can possibly be about like a security place or like a home, something that makes you feel safe, like everything's going to be fine. RL is just making me think of real life. So your inner child might feel like real life is boring, or that they don't really vibe with that real life human, matrix style day-to-day to-dos and stuff like that. You're here to create a real good life for yourself, a real authentic, empowered, self-expressed spiritual life, because that's very much what I see from your inner child, is that they're here to be a magical child of God, is what I just heard. So that's the real life that they are looking to create, and anything else can just go away. Anything distorted or lacking or not holding that energy of fascination and magic is just not really interesting to the inner child, because it doesn't align. It just doesn't match your frequency. So create more magic in your life is kind of what I'm seeing with that. Let me see if there's anything else. I'm seeing lust, like a lust for life, and you did have a lot of fire energy, so this could be reconnecting to your sexuality. Your inner child, for whatever reason, is bringing that up. And children, we don't associate that, but children have a lot of like fiery energy within them, and they need to be able to express that physically, which is what we saw with running here. So I feel like there's a part of your inner child that's trying to prompt your adult self to reconnect with your passion for life, your lust for life, your creation of that life, because that's also what I get from, like, sexual energy is not always just sexual. It can be used to create. It's like the passion, it's the fire that drives us to hobbies that we enjoy, or to creating, or to art. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here, is that it needs to be expressed through some kind of art or physical movement, or it could be sexuality as well, but I'm seeing it more as like fire of creativity. Okay. And I'm also seeing TRS is reminding me of trust. I'm kind of having to fill in the gaps here because we don't have that many vowels, but you got, I saw trees with this before, but now I'm seeing trust. It's like you need to trust that you are powerful. You need to trust this energy within you. You need to really lean into this kind of magic that you have inside. And I'm also seeing, where was it? Sorry, I just had it. Now I've lost it. Right. Thank you. They reminded me. Trust here can also mean, like, instead of TRUST, it could be TRUSSET. And that reminds me of a trussed up pig, like tied up, ready to be slaughtered or put into the oven. It's like when they use that twine to tie up a turkey or to tie up a pig. So it feels like you're meant to free yourself. You're meant to cut yourself out of those binds or bonds or karma that has trussed you up, blocked, restricted you, are restricted, and you're learning to be free. You're learning to free yourself, and by extension, you're learning to free others, and to get others out of martyrdom and self-sacrifice as well. It's like you're not here to be a lamb for the slaughter, because you are this very innocent lamb, and you're not here to be the lamb for the slaughter. You're actually here to be like this fiery. This is so cool. What they're showing me in my mind's eye is like this beautiful little innocent lamb, and then it's like all of a sudden it's on fire, but not like in a bad way. It's like the fire is the lamb, and the lamb is like a fire lamb. And all of a sudden they're like so powerful, and yet still innocent, and yet still peaceful, but they're fierce. It's like fierce grace. Wow. And I just got big shivers from that. So that is what I see for you, group number 3. Really cool, very powerful reading. Super fascinated by your energy. There's just so much magic here and power. Really, really powerful soul, you and your inner child. So thank you so much for allowing me to do this reading for you. If you enjoyed it, thank you for liking the video. That brings my inner child so much joy and fulfillment. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, if you're needing any additional inner child support or to activate these service gifts, I am a spiritual mentor, psychic energy reader. I am an Akashic reader as well. I do help clear karma and do energy reading and healing as well through Reiki. So if you're interested in any of those things I provide, you can find the information in the description box. There's a link to my website there that you can check out my services. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye.